Woohoo. So y'all, I just realized some shit, and it's just not even some shit. I've been realizing a lot of shit over time, and sometimes I just get a load of shit that I realize, and it's just like, holy shit. That's some real fucking shit. Yo, I'm that ancient chick. And I'm just here to share some wisdom and shit. Yo, okay. So, I've been listening to a lot of different music, like old music that I used to listen to back in the day, or whatever you want to call it. But mainly, I would say it's like 2000s music that I would listen to, like, in high school, 10th grade, 11th grade, senior year type of vibe, out of high school stuff. And just like, so much of that music I miss, because I feel like for me in music, it has to speak to my soul. It has to speak to my soul. It's not just about the lyrics, but also about the beat and just the message behind it. And that's always been in a sense, but not as much as it is now. So like, even now, like the music I listen to like literally everything, really, genre wise. But now that they're like creating like this more conscious music, spiritual music or whatnot, I I'm intrigued by it because I like it. But it's like then I go and listen to my 2000s music, like B.O.B., the Chainsmokers. I mean, even some of the Rihanna, because I just, my thing is songs, right? It's not usually just an artist, a main one artist. I listen to the song, because there's some artists where I could listen to the whole album, like Taylor Swift, Cruella, what other music. So I like, even like, I'm trying to think of the band. Why can't I think of the band right now? Good Charlotte, and just different types, like even over to Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez. Like some of them I will just listen to like certain songs that I gravitate towards, and then some of them it's just like literally almost the whole album, because all the songs, like, it's just like, banger, right? And it's funny because it's like, I believe music is spiritual in general. Like all music is spiritual. And looking back at the music, like especially like in the 2000s, the music that I grew up to and that like I was always like jamming out to, and even some of these artists that, like, for me, I don't really hear about too much, and I really don't pay attention to the news or to like media, so it's not like I'm like looking to like pay attention, but it's like there's some people that are talked about more than others. And so like BB Rexa, like when this was like after high school, so like I got more into her, Cruella, more of like Imagine Dragons, more of like the indie artists, underground artists, stuff like that. And it's like, to me, like that's conscious spiritual music too. And it's interesting because I believe, like, especially my generation, and I don't think it just like, I don't like to put a limit on it, because it's not really just my generation. I think there's a higher consciousness throughout individually, depending on how you're raised, depending on what music you listen to, and just depending on you uniquely, right? But it's interesting because me now coming into this understanding of how I see the world and my beliefs, and just breaking free, breaking generational curses, and understanding so much more. It's like it's always been happening. It's always been going on, individually with people, right? Especially like back into the 2000s with this music. And I think that's when it was like really happening, because like even like with the music, you can listen to it, but once you listen to the music videos, you see like a whole picture of almost like a perception of what they're trying to portray, what this song means. And so even some artists that like didn't really get too popular, they were like one hit wonders, or something like, you know, that terminology. I don't like to use that, but because me, it's like, okay, well, they're still making music. You know, they may not be like Beyonce or, you know, those artists that are hitting the top charts, but they're still doing something, right? And so it's like Carly Rae Jepsen, Daya, you know, certain songs that I gravitated towards. I didn't like consciously understand what they were really talking about. And that's where I've talked about in my videos before, or shared certain posts and share certain music about how it's like spiritually, it's like always been right in front of our faces. Spiritually, it's always been shown to us in the public eye, politically, non-politically, because I believe everything is like connected. And so it's like, you look at music, like they're literally, it's in our music. It's like literally in our healthcare. It's in our government. It's everywhere we go. It's all about being conscious about it and understanding it from a perspective, right? And so like listening to the music that I listened to back then, it's like I was listening to this music and I didn't see it how I see it now, but it's like, holy shit, it was there right in front of my face the whole time kind of thing, right? And it's funny because it's like now that I listen to it, it's like, oh, I fucking get it. I get it. It and that's like really why I just wanted to do this video, because it's like really, like it's right in front of our faces. And what I mean by that is, you know, waking up to the knowledge around us, the knowledge not just within us, but the knowledge that they're really portraying to us. You know, it's that understanding that we can gravitate more towards, you know, the negative influence, the control, the overall aspect of, you know, certain things that are happening in the world, certain things that, you know, we may not understand face value, but it's at the end of the day, it's really us who needs to become aware, needs to become conscious, needs to really just take our time to like really listen and maybe question certain things around us. Because I look back at, you know, especially when I left high school, especially when I started to venture off on my own and just figure out, you know, my life, you know, adulthood, you know, just trying to explore the world and understand it. Because, you know, growing up, I believe I was very sheltered from a lot of different things, and that's how I perceive it, to where it's like I come into adulthood, I go out into the real world, and it's like, holy shit, like this is like super cool, but it's like you also don't know really what to expect in a sense. Like you didn't expect this is what the real world was. And in a sense, it's like it's becoming the fool, right? So you're becoming a fool to like really just venture out and really take a chance, you know, because there's some people that are raised to understand, you know, life, understand certain situations, or they go through childhood where they may, you know, see the world in a different light than others, right? Because we're all raised in different environments, family environments, different aspects, whether you're religious, non-religious, and there's, you know, people that have raised ever since they were birthed to understand, like, you know, the consciousness, spirituality, you know, more holistic approach, certain things like that. Not everybody is in tune with themselves, because there's people that are born into this world where they experience a lot of chaos, a lot of tragedy, a lot of sickness, you know, and it's really how you maneuver throughout your childhood, throughout your teenage years, and into adulthood. And there's just like so much more to it than we realize. And it's crazy. And this is what I've been like really just reflecting on, my entire life, certain memories that I have, certain, experiences that I went through, and the music I gravitated towards. Because another thing I've been like really judged on is the music I listen to. And me, I was always into just like uplifting, beat music. And to me, it didn't really matter too much about like the artist. I don't know what it was, but even still today, I sometimes struggle with the artists' names or like the song names. But when you play it, it's like, oh, I know that song. And there's some songs that I'll know the artist and I'll know the name. But then there's some songs where it's like, oh, I've heard that song before and I haven't heard it for so long. And it's just interesting because I myself have just been judged on a lot of music I listen to. And there's some people that gravitate gravitate towards more of one genre. So whether that's rap, whether that's pop, whether that's like indie, punk, all these different terminologies. And me, I'm just like, look, it's music. Music is music. Because like with my music, I just express myself, right? I'm a singer-songwriter, express myself how, I feel like I need to express myself, but it's also a spiritual thing. It's a connection to something deeper than ourselves. And it's a gift. And for me, it's not all about staying just writing to a pop beat. Like I will challenge myself, and that's why I've dabbled into writing to pop music, rap music, and I don't even like to utilize those terminologies or those labels because to me it's music, and that's the other thing. It's like people want to limit you. They want to put you in a box and be like, oh, I didn't expect you to listen to that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, what did you expect me to listen to, right? And so listening to music, listening to the 2000s musics and the music now, like, it's just interesting how over time, like, it can just get really warped and overlooked, I feel, because I believe that the industry does use music to control people. I believe it's like a political thing, right? I can go deep into that kind of stuff, but I don't want to really make this video about that. The point I'm trying to make is that, what we listen to, like it could literally be telling us. It could be right in our faces. The music we listen to, the stuff we watch on TV, everything. It's literally right in front of our face. It's really just about us awakening our mind, becoming more self-aware of ourselves to be more aware of the world around us. Because you can use you can use self-awareness. You could use these certain terminologies, right? Whether it's more a spiritual aspect, because you look at the new age spirituality, and how they portray consciousness, the pineal gland. It's always been talked about, but the language, the terminology, it's always been right in front of our faces. It's just been dimmed down and changed over time. And it's so wild to just be like, holy fucking shit. It's like, it's been there the whole time. It's just, we've had to go through these lessons and really fight in a sense. Our souls are fighting in a sense to awaken this human vessel that we were born in to really see what it is, to remember why we came back, right? To remember what is going on, what is actually really happening. Because this is nothing new. That's the thing. This is nothing, like they call it new age spirituality. I mean, you even look at like the religion and the New Testament and all these different things that supposedly are changing over time. But it's like it's only changing because we physically see things changing. But even then, I believe, I believe it's always been. I believe that there's so much more to the story, to the reality that we realize. And it's connected to our music. It's connected to everything, our environment, what we watch. Because like for me and my experiences, like everything happens for a reason. You know, the fact that they use accidents, like when you get in a car accident, okay? One, it's an impact. It's a heavy impact and it triggers something in you, right? It does something to your body. But also at the same time, it's like, why did that accident happen? What were you doing? Were you aware of what was going on around you? Was the other person aware? Was that other person on their phone? Like, you know, we live in a fast-paced world. I mean, especially in California, and I just say California because that's where I live. But I know, and there's so many other places in the world where it's very fast-paced. And we're in a rush. We're focused on time, when time is really just an illusion. You know, we're focused on time because we have clocks, which are man-made, all these things. And I've talked about this several times in several different videos of mine over time. But it's very interesting to dive deep into it even more, especially when listening to the music, you know, the 2000s music. And it's not really just 2000s music. It goes back farther than that, right? But like the music that I'm familiar with, the music that I gravitate towards with, and a lot of the 2000s music I've listened to, like I mean, even like with Britney Spears music, like I was never really a Britney Spears listener, but I love some of the songs that she wrote, because it really, like, it's literally right in her lyrics, and it's a lot of artists. And I think that's why artists are so powerful. And, you know, people over time started to recognize, wow, we could really take this over and manipulate people this way. And what I mean by they is, you know, they. But, and it's interesting. I mean, it's not even interesting. It's literally, it's just, I don't even think there's a word for it that I can think of right now. Because it's like, I've been contemplating on creating a video like this, just because, like, you know, you look at conspiracy theories, you look at a lot of different theories, you look at so many things, you know, especially when fans come at artists or try and cancel influencer, because it's not just like music artists, it's people that creators, content influencers, all that, right? And so there's a lot of truth behind these lies. There's a lot of lies behind these truths. And there's so much more to what we realize, you know, physically, information-wise, and so much more. And there's those that are really, you know, intuitively noticing this, intuitively starting to really, you know, see the bigger picture. Because it's like there's some people that are still asleep. There's some people that are still kind of like so more focused on the physical aspects instead of like the unseen, the spiritual, or just more tapped in, I would say. And so it's like, but even that, like, it's like all connected one way or another. It's like you got to pay attention, because some of these people don't even realize like what they're saying is there's some truth to it, but there's also some lie to it. And that's the wild part about music, about spirituality, about everything. Like, and what I mean by everything is just different aspects of what we are involved in, whether that be politically, you know, voting, government, The church, religious wise, music, spirituality, healthcare, even like, where we live, like states, countries, what's going on, even military wise. Because like even I, was contemplating on all of that kind of stuff. Because I did military training. I went to school for criminal justice, and there was like that militant side of me. And that's a story, and that I've told before too, I believe, about my father figure being in the Marines and me wanting to go into the military. And I did, all that, but it's like everything's connected, and I did everything for a reason, to help me see something eventually, look back at those moments, those experiences, kind of wake up to like help me realize, oh, okay, so that's what it is. That's how I'm seeing it. And what I mean by that is it's deeper than we realize. They've created these aspects, they've created these things to, pretty much control us, mind control us, brainwash. But there's also that thing where it's like literally right in front of us. We're brainwashed so much to where it's just literally like we can pretty much physically see it, but it's mentally deteriorating us with how they're controlling us, right? It's like, oh yeah, we see the big picture, but we don't understand it, right? And so that's pretty much what I'm trying to like get to. Because like for me, it's really, sometimes it can be very hard to explain in words, because it's like it's like a light bulb that goes off in my head, because I'll see it in my head in symbols, synchronicities, and that for me, that's like a part of channeling. That's a part of me being connected, right? Being in tune. And it's just like, sometimes it can like, that's where I really want to work on my wording. But even the wording, there's just no wording for it. And maybe that just means I'm not supposed to share it. I'm not supposed to, just reveal certain things. And that's totally understandable. But for me, it's like more of an aspect of, I want people, and this is especially for people that may not understand spirituality, or have a perception of spirituality, have a perception of religion, have a perception of politics, have a perception of music, right? And it doesn't matter what your perception is. It's the fact that just really like pause and really listen to your favorite song. Really understand why you're voting for that person. Really understand why you're going to the doctor. Really just pause and think about all these things that are going on in your life that you may just be robotically, just doing, right? You may just, it's just that daily thing, right? Because that's something that I experienced. I was like going through this cycle, this motion, but there was this feeling within myself where I was like, this just doesn't feel right. There's more to this story, more to my story than just going to this job, than just driving this car, than just listening to this, album or this song. Then, all these things. And it would happen every once in a while. And even especially when I was going through like struggles or challenges, it's like throwing up your hands in the air and being like, what the fuck? There's got to be something more to this, just questioning in a sense, like, why do I do this every day? Why do I have this routine? Even if it's just like you believe it's a healthy routine. Because I even look at my life and it's like, my whole life wasn't trials and tribulations. It wasn't chaos and wars. It wasn't tragedies and traumas all my life. There were so many good times that I have. Yet there is still that questioning, like, is this really it? Is this really what it is? And I've been having conversations with people where they will be having conversations with their significant other or just people in general. And I notice this with older individuals, and what I mean by that is older by age. And they'll talk about how, like, they're too old to do things. And for me, age is just a number. It's all about your soul. Because I believe I'm an old soul. I believe, and what that means to me is that I've lived just multiple lifetimes, but I still have this inner child. I still like to play like a little kid. I like to go eat ice cream. I like to go dance. I like to do my little fun stuff. And then I have my teenage vibe. And then I have my, adult responsibility vibe. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like we get to a certain point in our life or a certain age or have a certain story that we've been conditioned to believe all our life to be like, oh, I'm at this certain age now. I'm getting too old to do those things. I'm too young to do those things. And it's wild, right? Because even when I was younger, I would want to do what adults do. I would want to hold conversations like adults. I would want to, just do certain things that adults did. But yet now that I'm supposedly an adult, 32 years old, it's like questioning, oh, well, you're not acting your age. I was like, well, this is the first time I've ever been this age. So please tell me how I'm supposed to act. And that right there is really starting to wake up. You're starting to question, like, well, is age really, something that I need to attach myself? You can change genders, you can change certain labels, identities, all this kind of stuff, right? So it's like, that's where you really want to get into really questioning, okay, yeah, maybe I'm, this age, but I still want to go ride on a Ferris wheel. I still want to go dancing. I still want to go live my life. And, you can be any age. And, most of my videos are for, people that are 18 and older. And it's just, even that you got to look at. Because, like, our mind's always evolving. Our mind's always growing. But at the same time, they want to set a limit because they put that into our mindset to control us to believe, well, once you get 80, you're probably going to be put in a nursing home and get old. You're going to get old age, and that's like around the time you died. Well, if you look at the Bible, people lived till they were like, what, 150, 200? I don't remember the ages. But we got to look at that. It's like, why can't we still do that? Why is it that we have to die at 80 now? Huh? Why is it that we get cancer and we believe we're going to die? We have those 2 months to die. Yet it's really all about your mindset, y'all. And that's why I say really, really just become more aware, more questioning your surroundings, questioning your beliefs, questioning how your daily life, questioning, certain things that you feel that are just more robotic to you, that are really not fulfilling, because it's really how about you feel. Because, for me, I've experienced where, like even growing up at a young age where I was like, everybody was like, well, what college are you going to go to? What job are you going to have? Me, my whole life, I wanted to be a famous singer. Like, I wanted to be a famous pop star. And there's a lot of teachers, there's a lot of adults that would tell me, well, you got to get a real job. Okay, well, what is not real about being an artist? Because it's like now it seems like jobs nowadays are getting less and less. And like people can't survive off of just having one job. They have to have 2, 3, 4 jobs to just survive. Yet influencers and people that are, working from home or, doing content are making millions and millions of dollars. So it's like, it's like we already knew, you know, whether it be my generation, you know, the people that, I grew up with, grew around, whatnot. It's like we already knew in some way or form. We already had that feeling within ourselves. But the people around us, the people that wanted to condition us, limit us, hold us down, whatever it was, and they may not even realize it or not, it still happened. Try to condition us and make us believe that we had to go to college to get a good job, to make good money, to survive in this world. But that's just a conditioning that they were taught over centuries and centuries. I don't know why I said centuries, but just years and years of conditioning. So it's funny because, in a sense, it does feel like centuries. Because I look back like 10 years, even 2 years feels like a century ago to me. Because one time is an illusion. A lot of these things are an illusion. It's just been put into our minds to believe this is what our reality is, and that's it. There's nothing else. So, y'all, if you got anything from this video, what I really want you to do is stop limiting yourself. Stop limiting yourself. Stop telling yourself you can't. Stop telling yourself that this is it and this is only it. And stop focusing on the negative. Stop, just stop following the crowd. Really wake up to really finding what works for you. Tuning into your intuitive self, the stuff that you really, really love. And don't be afraid to embrace that. Don't be afraid that people are going to judge you, because people are judging you no matter what, right? So fuck them, fuck society, fuck reality. And I'm not saying fuck it in an unhealthy way. Be realistic about it. Like, really. And don't take my words for it. Like, just for me and how I express myself is like, I just have so much passion about the fact that you can live your dream life. You can do anything you want. You can pursue that dream, that luxury life, become a millionaire, billionaire. You can reach for the sky, because the sky is not the limit. The sky is just another illusion too, y'all. Because in my world, there's no limits. And I know, since breaking free from these chains, breaking free from all the control, from the limiting beliefs, and really working on myself, transforming my life, like, it's just gotten so much better. But the cool thing is it's getting even better. Like, it's like imagining like how good I have it now, but the fact that it's getting better and better and better, and I'm only imagining how better it's going to get, but it's going to even be better than that. So it's like, don't limit yourself. And by the way, go check out my song No Limits, because that's an awesome song, and it's going to be a hit one day, because it's technically already a hit, just not in this reality. But check out my song No Limits on SoundCloud or on my YouTube channel. And stop limiting yourself. Go be you. Peace.